Hello, you're all very welcome along to the afternoon show. Coming up today, are you spending above your means and then burying your head in the sand? Well, we're going to be pulling that ostrich head right up out of there and teaching you to budget. Yes, it's not a term I'm familiar with either, but apparently we'll have more money and less stress. We're going to be speaking to the very delicious Colin Firth about his new movie, A Christmas Carol, and we'll be meeting a lady who went from a size 22 to an 8 in 1 year and says that was when her real problems began.
I'm more self-conscious now than I was when I was overweight. I really am. I'm more self-conscious because now I know that people are only accepting me because I look right.
As always, we like your input here on the show, all of your comments and questions, so here is how to get in touch. What we weigh can not only determine how good we feel about ourselves, but also how attractive others deem us to be. And while many can battle with the bulge or aspire to have the body of a supermodel, there are more serious issues at play here, with growing numbers of people with eating disorders to soaring obesity figures worldwide and everything in between. One woman who's seen two sides is Shannon, and she joins me now to tell us her story. Now, Shannon, many people watching today will think there's no way this girl ever struggled with her weight, but that's not necessarily true.
Oh, absolutely. Like a year and a half ago, I weighed 24 stone, which is like about 156 kilos at my heaviest weight.
And that is quite a lot of weight to lose in a short space of time.
Yeah, it's like a huge amount. It's a very difficult thing to do as well. So, but I had help to do it. So it's not like I kind of did it all by myself. I definitely had help to do it. You
went for gastric bypass surgery. How did you discover that?
It was something I'd been looking into for like 3 or 4 years, researching on the internet, trying to find somebody here that did it. And there's not a lot of information in Ireland on it. There's a lot of information in Belgium, America. It's very, very big, but here it's little known. There's only 2 doctors at the time that did it here, one publicly in Loughlinstown, one privately in Beaumont Hospital.
It is a very big operation, isn't it? Not only physically, but afterwards, your approach to food has to change completely, doesn't it?
Yeah, everything. Before you're allowed to have it, you have to have a psychological examination, you have to have a nutritional examination, and obviously a medical examination to make sure that you qualify for all of these things. When I went to see the consultant, he chose me based on the fact that I didn't have any medical problems associated with obesity. I was actually quite fit, quite healthy, low cholesterol and all that. Because I was active all the time, I was just extremely overweight. So then he put me on his waiting list, and I thought, yeah, this is the answer to all my prayers. I really thought it was going to be everything that and I had everything in my mind worked out and what I was going to do. And after it, I'd have like a skinny wedding, as I was going to call it, because I just got married in 2004. And I was looking forward to the future of all this and to being slim and healthy and happy. And I thought that the future was going to be bright and wonderful. And on the flip side of it, it's not what I thought it was going to be. You know?
So you've spoken a lot about how you were reacting to people, but how were others reacting to you? I mean, you'd lost all this weight. Were people treating you differently?
Oh, everybody's thrilled. Like, I'd see people and they'd be like, wow, you look great and all that. But then there's other people on the flip side who when you meet them, they don't say the nicest things, or they make very remarkable comments like, oh, are you sure you took the easy way out, or whatever. Whereas they never lived my life before. I'd been on every medicine, Reducto, Xenocol, I'd done every diet, even the dangerous ones. I'd done all of them, and I'd lose a certain amount of weight, get to that point, and nothing else would happen. Not long after I got down to a size 12. I went to start working in a local pub from where I was living, and all the girls there were real slim and very pretty and all this sort of thing. And after a couple of months, I kind of got down to a size 8. Because we're running up and downstairs and running around and all that. And I remember one day having a conversation with one of the guys. Said, "We after losing loads of weight?" And I said, "Yeah," but I wasn't like overweight when I started here. And I explained to her my story, and she goes, "I'd rather be honest with you. She said, like, if you had to come here and worked here when you were overweight," she goes, "I probably would have assumed that you were lazy and wouldn't have made any effort really to be friends with you." And everybody judges everybody by how they look, and you make an assumption on the first thing that you see, right? But most of us morally will give a person a chance and talk to them and get to know them, whereas there are people out there who will write you off completely based on how you look. And I never realized how different people treated me. Never, ever, ever. From the difference from being overweight to now, the way people treat me is unreal.
So how were you feeling when you say life was a mess, your attitude to food was a mess, you weren't feeling very self-confident? How did you manage to grab hold of it?
I didn't, and I don't think I still 100% have, because right now I've been diagnosed with bulimia from excessive vomiting, which was brought on by the original operation, but now it's psychologically, I just do it. And also I take about 60 to 70 laxatives a day because I'm so worried about putting back on the weight. I went underweight, I was 52 kilos 2 months ago, and I was told by my doctor that if I didn't pick up weight that I'd be put into hospital because I was so underweight. I do tricks like put 10 sugars in a coffee and drink maybe 15 coffees a day in order to put on the weight. And you see, the hospital have now told me after an operation like this, when you lose all that weight, you get excess skin. And this is where my big problem is. When I look in the mirror, all I see is this excess skin. My image of myself is not what other people see. But I'm in a catch-22. I'm holding on to my eating disorder partially because of all this excess skin and what I see in the mirror. It's body dysmorphia. I'm seeing something totally different. And it's a very vicious circle.
But you must have thought that as your waistline was shrinking that your self-esteem would just grow. It's gone very much the opposite way.
Yeah, I'm more self-conscious now than I was when I was overweight. I really am. I'm more self-conscious because now I know that people are only accepting me because I look right. It's not because of anything I've done. I thought I was doing the right thing by having this operation, making myself healthy, giving my kids somebody to look up to say that she's healthy and all that, she eats healthy, she looks healthy. I wanted to be a good role model. And now I'm not a good role model for my children. I have to hide everything that I do for my children, the way I eat, the amount of medication that I put into myself, all of this sort of thing. It's made me a worse person. Seriously, to look good has made me a worse person. Somebody that has to hide themselves. I'm not being true to me. I'm not being true to my family or anything like that.
So Shannon, if you could turn back time, would you wish that there was more support out there for after the operation, or would you cancel the operation altogether?
I wouldn't cancel the operation because on the flip side of it, there are many things that I am happy about. Yeah, I think if I had had more support, all of this wouldn't have been so overwhelming and I could have coped a lot better. And I could have come out a lot stronger out the other side of this. While I'm strong, it's not the strength that I thought I would have.
So Shannon, what would you say to people who may be watching, maybe they're overweight, maybe they're not, maybe they just don't like what they see when they look in the mirror? Would you have any advice for them?
I would say, you know, just because you look in the mirror and see something doesn't mean that the world is seeing it like that. And if people are telling you that it's not that way, and people that love you are telling you that it's not that way, then, and you still can't believe them, then you should go and see somebody and talk to somebody. Get the help now before it gets too big, too much, and takes over your life. Because there's nothing as bad as living with something like this, and it's overshadowing everything in your life.
Well, Shannon, you're fantastic. I hope that you are listening to some of the words that you're saying and that you do find a place where you look in the mirror and love inside and out yourself. Thank you very, very much.
More than welcome.